Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and almost good afternoon, and welcome to the official press conference for a great middleweight eliminator contest that we scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. And this will be for the WEA World Championship Eliminator. The winner gets a shot at the regular middleweight world title. And of course, as you all know, coming up this Saturday night here at the O2 in London, an unbelievable great night of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment. It's a fight fan's dream from bottom to top, a great card. And of course, it's all brought to you by Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing. And I'd like to mention our great sponsors that helped put this together. And that's William Hill Vegas, StubHub, Lonsdale, and the motion picture Creed, which will be in theaters everywhere on January 15th, featuring Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone. So here to tell you about the middleweight championship, the middleweight championship eliminator contest we have coming up as a co-feature on Saturday night's card. Let me bring to the microphone at this time Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing.
Thank you, Michael. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here as always, and what that means when Michael Buffer is in the house, that we have a hell of a night for you on Saturday night at the O2. It's a night of boxing euphoria. It's one of the best cards I feel has been put together in this country, and I'm so excited to bring you all a press conference here today. Our first press conference features two fights that are absolutely integral in their weight divisions. Firstly, a final eliminator for the WBA middleweight world title between Chris Eubank Jr. and Spike O'Sullivan. Also on this table, a fight which is a wonderful fight for the lightweight division, for the WBA interim world title between Kevin Mitchell and Ismael Barroso, who will have to challenge the WBA champion Anthony Crolla shortly after. Just a quick word for a few people on the table, introduce you, and then I'll talk more about the show. Down to a good win. Thank you, Ronnie. Pascal, obviously a huge fight for Spike on Saturday night. I know you guys have had a great night.
Yeah, first I want to thank you for regarding as one of the best trainers in the world. That's a huge compliment from you, and I hope I live up to that expectation. As far as Spike's concerned, I've had Spike for 8 years. He's a pro 8 years. You know, he's been one of the top amateurs from the country. He's done it the hard way. He's called out people to get fights. He's got the fights. I mean, it's great to be part of this. I mean, to be on Sky TV, to be here in front of all these people. This is what boxing's all about. These young guys going to the gym, and eventually one day very few of them get to these big fights. And you know, no matter how you get there by calling people out or abusing people, as some people say, the fight is here now, and I'm actually so excited. I actually cannot wait for this fight, because we have, you know, we knew this fight was going to happen when it was being negotiated before. We knew it was going to happen, so we've been planning for it the last 6 months. Over the last 8 weeks, we've done 5 sessions a day, 6 days a week in the gym. People say you may be burned out, but we don't do training sessions, we do practice sessions. And we've just really planned, and you know, we've left nothing to chance. We will be our best on the night. Spike will be the best Spike he can be on the night. Spike has got great power. It's his power that's going to be the factor in this fight. He's got great power. He knocks people out when he hits them. So when he hits somebody, he knocks them out. But I'm just excited because, you know, I can see what's going to happen already. And you know, I also want to give a little bit, you know, respect to Chris Eubank Jr. because, you know, he's had a lot of abuse too because of who his dad is. My own nephew's in the same kind of boat. And you know, he does it the hard way too. And I have a lot of respect to him. I think he's a decent fighter. I think he's a really good fighter. I think he can become a great fighter with more experience. He doesn't have enough experience, I don't think, but I think he can become a great fighter. A lot of respect to Chris Jr. and to his dad, and to his camp, and to Adam Booth and to Ron Davis. And you know, may the best man win on the night. And hopefully afterwards they can shake hands and move on in a very professional manner.
Your stint out there in the jungle, and now ahead of some more serious business on Saturday night.
Yeah, well, while I was there in the thick jungle, it gave me time to reevaluate and invigorate, I suppose, my mindset to have a clear view of what's going on with, I suppose, Junior and the fight in front of him with Mr. O'Sullivan. I saw a little clip of the two of them facing off, and Junior said he could smell fear. And I kind of sense the same thing. I just heard someone speaking over there and paying us a great deal of respect, of which sounds as though there is fear in that camp, and there should be. If Junior, I mean, I've been away for a month, but obviously the trust I have in Ronnie Davis and Adam Booth, and the trust I have in Junior with his remarkable training efforts. I mean, one of the things the camp just said was that you've been training for 6 months. I do not disbelieve you. However, that's kind of short, because Junior has been training for 10 years, 6 days a week. We are fierce. We don't take breaks. And where giving anything away is concerned, Junior has learned the hard way, and so therefore in the future, that mistake will not happen again, the mistake he made before. So, to Mr. O'Sullivan, I will say this. Looking at your abilities, your best fight plan is about actually coming forward and throwing punches. Trying to take Junior out is probably your best chance, and it's the worst thing you can do. If you box him, it's going to be a one-horse race. If you fight him, that's going to be fireworks. So let's see who has the bigger bombs. So it's going to be exciting to see. I'm glad I'm back, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens on this special night on Saturday.
Obviously, 18,000 in the arena. This is the kind of nights we all live for, and you're expecting the best performance of Junior's career on Saturday night.
Well, he will do what he does best. He does some really good performances. Let's see. I think, as Ronnie says, Junior he has the ability to be in a different league to on a world stage. So, with your promotional outfit along with Unity Motion, our promotional outfit, there's a clear path for him to fight fairly to the top of the world. So let's see how the rub goes.
Thank you. In great shape, and I know you're very excited about Saturday.
Absolutely, I'm in great shape, best shape of my life. I'm delighted to be here. Just absolutely cannot wait for Saturday night. Cannot wait. Can't tell you enough how much I cannot wait to get in there. It's great to hear, see all these people. It's a dream come true for me. I'm just can't wait to get right.
How important is it to take this opportunity on Saturday night? Obviously, the winner goes on to fight Daniel Jacobs for the world title, and just a wonderful chance to change your life, essentially.
Absolutely. I'm going to knock out Junior on Saturday night. Go on to fulfill my destiny. I think Daniel Jacobs is a great champion, great guy that I admire. He's been through cancer, went on to become world champion. Very admirable. But unfortunately, he's the champion. He has what I want. I'm coming for him.
That seems to be the plan on Saturday night. The power is what you believe will be the difference on Saturday.
Unquestionably, 100%. I will definitely not come out on it. Cannot wait to get out there and see all those people claiming that ring and knock Junior out. Cannot wait.
You couldn't knock out a fart, Gary.
Sorry, Chris, I can't understand you. What's that?
Okay, I'm going to pass over to Chris Eubank Jr. now to say a few words about the huge fight on Saturday.
I'm ready. What more can I say? I've said everything I've previously in the last press conference and the gloves are off show. I think I've said everything I can say. I'm confident. I believe that Gary is in too deep. He's talked himself into a situation where he's set up for a big fall. I don't think he's prepared. I don't see any confidence.
Knock you,
I don't
Chris.
see any.
Chrissy,
I don't
knock
see
you
any
out.
type of preparation. When I'm looking at him, he just seems like he's lost, like a rat in the headlights.
Like you were last week when your daddy was in the jungle.
So you guys will see. I think you guys got a taste of really what he's going to bring when with what he was saying in our head-to-head on Sky. He didn't really have anything to say for himself. He looked scared to me, and I took a lot from that. I took a lot from that half an hour session of just speaking to him and watching him. He's not this dangerous knockout ice that he claims to be. He's just another guy.
Obviously, that's one thing that's been stressed, and again, there is the power. Is that part of the mindset going into this fight? Is that a concern?
To be brutally honest, nothing concerns me about Gary O'Sullivan, except for his mustache. That does concern me.
Okay, this is a fight which I can't wait for in and out of the ring. I'm sad that they actually have to hear the first bell because I've enjoyed the build-up so much. This is a wonderful time for British boxing. We've seen more world champions than ever, more big nights, and none of this would be possible without our exclusive broadcast partner, Sky Sports. I'm going to pass over to Adam Smith to say a few words for the members up here on the table.
Thanks, Eddie. I'm really excited about this. I think it's a phenomenal card on Saturday night at the O2. It's an amazing arena, a great venue in London, and it's just absolutely stacked from the start, from late afternoon all the way through. But these two particular fights are fascinating because the lightweight and the middleweight divisions are just, they're utterly buzzing, exciting beyond belief at the moment. With what Anthony Crolla did in Manchester the other week, I know Kevin Mitchell's destiny, his dream has always been to hold a world title, and this fight, I mean, it's almost a world title in itself, because this Ismael Barroso is a very talented guy. I've seen plenty of him on tape. He's a big puncher. He's a southpaw, and like Jorge Linares, who came last time. He's from Venezuela. He's had to travel, and he's had no fear in traveling. So I'm really looking forward to see how Kevin deals with it, whether he has got the class and the experience to be able to get through that. I think it's a terrific matchup on paper. And as I said, the winner goes on to fight Crolla, so 2016 is going to be a light with the lightweights, not to mention sort of Terry Flanagan and Luke Campbell and all the others. And then at middleweight, I mean, these two, the gloves are off was a fascinating show, and I'm going to ask them a bit more about that in a second. But as a match, again, it's terrific. You bring the skills, maybe the added class of Chris Eubank Jr. with the power and the adventure of Spike O'Sullivan, who I've followed for the last few years. He's a dynamite puncher. He's got no fear, and I'm really looking forward to seeing whether he can bring it to Chris on the night. And I see it as a fascinating match, that one. With what Daniel Jacobs did at the weekend against Peter Quillen, it blows it open again. Danny Jacobs is a great guy and a great story. As Spike was saying, surviving cancer, and it's a fantastic thing for boxing, a miracle man. And one of these guys is going to get in the ring with him next year. So I think 2016 is going to be even better than this year. Just want to ask, I want to bring the gloves are off back with Spike and Chris. Chris, you say that you've taken a lot from that. Your father was saying about the smelling fear as how you started the show. When you walked out of that, what were you thinking about Spike and after everything he said to you over the last 3 years on social media? What were your thoughts when you walked out of the building that night?
My main thought was that this man is a pretender and a fake. For him to have said the things he said to me over the last 2 or 3 years online, to then kind of be put in a room with me and have his opportunity to express everything that he's been, trying to get across to me online, and to do it man to man, and then to say nothing. Keyboard warrior. That's all I can say. I took a lot of confidence away from that encounter, just for the pure fact that I just saw a lot of mental weakness in him. I don't know. He actually at one point in the talk said that it wasn't really him that was doing it. It was, he was just doing it just to set the fight up. It wasn't really who he was as a person. And I told him, to be pretending to pretend to be a man you're not for 2 or 3 years, it's embarrassing. Stick to your guns. I don't think he was pretending. I think he just realizes now that he is in too deep. He is going to have to fight me, And so he's kind of trying to, let's be friends. He's trying to shake my hand at the end of the day. How can you try and shake a man's hand who you've been disrespecting for the last 2-3 years? Talking about their friends and family and their fans, and you try and shake his hand at the end of the conversation. It doesn't make sense to me. So like I said, he needs to stick to his guns and take the beating that he's going to receive on the 12th.
Spike, are we looking at two different personalities, two different characters? You said in the show that you did that to get the fight. You've entertained everybody on social media over the last 3 years. Do you feel you've entertained people enough in the build-up to this? Is there something different now that you've actually got the fight?
Well, I'm not a moat like you, Chris. I just done it to get the fight. I explained that to you already. I'm not a moat. You're a moat. The man I am, I'm a fighting man. I'm being nervous. We're going to see who's nervous on Saturday night when I get in the ring. Look at me. Look at me.
If you tell me to do something, of course I'm not going to do it.
Knock you. We'll see all the gold on Saturday night. If we get in the ring, we'll see who the man is and we'll see who's afraid then.
You've shown your cards already, Gary. You're mentally weak.
I show you my cards on Saturday night and I knock your head off. Stupid little chin on you. I'll knock you out. You won't even look at me. You won't even stand next to me.
One thing you guys need to realize is I was watching a video of one of my previous fights against Dimitri Chudinov. That was my last proper fight. I'm not really counting my fight with the Charlie Jarrah as it only lasted a couple minutes. But my last proper fight, I was watching it, and one of the comments underneath the video was Chris Eubank Jr.'s performance was immoral, ruthless, and without restraint. That was what this particular individual took away from my performance on that night. And Gary, you need to understand, I actually liked Dimitri Chudinov. He was a good guy. Oh my goodness. He was respectful, he shook my hand, and best of luck. He was a likable guy.
I actually tried to shake your hand, but you were man not to shake my hand. It's personal to you. You wouldn't even shake hands with me. I tried to shake hands with you.
This man is not a likable guy.
You're not a nice guy. You're a clunker.
I have a distinct
an absolute
dislike for
clunker.
this man. So you need to understand.
You're a clown. You're an absolute clown. You're a fucking clown, man.
Water.
You know what? You said it wasn't personal. You said it wasn't personal.
It's all business.
It's all personal.
It's all business, but it's going to feel extremely
You wouldn't shake my
personal to
hand.
you.
What a fool, man. Yeah, as I said, that the gloves are off. You're not the sharpest tool in the box. You're completely contradicting yourself continuously. I'll knock you out.
I like that. I like that your trainer's not doing what you're talking for you this time. That's nice to see. But at the end of the day, you only really have two lines. I will win and I will.
I'm here, and I'll be here on Saturday night. I'm gonna knock you out, Chris.
Yeah, I think I'm
will.
gonna print some T-shirts for you.
Good man. Do.
I'll bring them to the O2 Arena on.
Good man. Do that, Chris.
On December.
Make sure you get spelling right.
Spike, Chris said that he smelled fear at the beginning of that show, and that that he's going to be the animal. That he felt in total charge of that sort of half-an-hour program. I'll ask you the same thing. When you walked out, did you feel any differently to beforehand? Did you feel that he had got an edge in the mental battle, or did it go as you expected?
Well, I think Chris had it scripted. He sat down and was told what to say before it happened. It was all pre-done before.
Did my dad tell me from inside the jungle?
What's that?
Did my dad tell me what to say to you?
No, Adam booked it.
Oh, Adam booked it?
Yeah, probably. Doesn't matter anyway, I don't give a damn. I'll be here on fight night. You better believe it, I'm gonna knock you out.
Spike, let's just talk tactics. How are you going to beat Chris Eubank Jr.? He's got one defeat, as you have to Billy Joe Saunders. How are you going to go about it from the opening bell?
I'm not giving him any tactics. But what I do say is this, I'm gonna land that in your chin and I'll knock you out. Oh yeah, you better believe it. I'll hurt you.
I cannot wait.
Same, like feelings likewise. I'm gonna smack you up.
Chris, question to you, tactics-wise, how do you see this going? Do you think this is one of the harder fights of your career or not?
It's a step up from my previous bout, but as far as it being one of the toughest fights of my career, we'll find out in the night. We'll see how much fire he really has. He's got the fire in his mouth at the moment, which is surprising because he's been so quiet over the last few weeks. We'll see if he can bring that fire into the ring. But one thing I will say is, the dedication, the training, you know, the work ethic that I have and have had leading up to this fight. You know, I'm in the best shape of my life, and it's going to take. Superman wouldn't even want to be in the ring with me on December 12th.
I am your kryptonite, Chris. I am your kryptonite.
So,
I'm going to knock you out.
So Gary O'Sullivan doesn't have a chance, really, in my opinion. But who knows? I guess we'll find out.
I just want to bring your dad in. It's great to see you back from the jungle. Welcome home. One thing that Spike was saying in the gloves are off was that the camp that Pascal and Steve have the blueprint to beat the Eubanks. What's your take on that?
My take on that is that I am not my son, and my son is not me. You know, I had a sensitive and measured approach to boxing. I worked out individuals, I played with their minds, I was not really aggressive if I wasn't pushed to be. I was a sensitive fighter, and it worked for me. But Junior is not me. You know, there are so many people who have this view that, you know, he's following in my footsteps. No, he's boxing, I boxed. He's his own man. Things are a lot easier now, as proof of what I'm saying to you, in that Adam Booth is now part of the camp, in that he has a completely different view, because Junior is so much so his own man that my words now he has. So he needs a different skill set and a different sound. We respect Adam, and so I've employed him along with Ronnie. Ronnie has actually taken it, the decision has been part Ronnie's. He's his own man. And when I say he's not like me, I mean, you can be using I hear the term, I'm going to knock you out, Chris. I remember Steve Collins telling me the same thing. Talking to him is like talking to a brick wall. Fighting him is also like fighting a brick wall. And I'll tell you a story. One day I put on one of these body armored things, and I wanted to feel his power. He hit me with 10 shots, and I dropped my hands and I laughed from my stomach for how hurtful the punches were. I pity the man who stands toe to toe with Junior. So let's see what happens come Saturday night. You say you're a puncher. You say you're going to knock him out. So you're going to bring a fight to him. So let's see you do that. That will be, I mean, whatever route you choose, I think he's going to cook you. And I've got salt and pepper. I do.
Pascal, Spike, what is the way? Because obviously Steve, I think, should be the way to beat Chris. So.
Yeah, the very first fight, I was actually there on the night, and I fought on the undercard, and it was like a lot of mind games. And he did get under Chris's skin. He admitted it, and it was, you know, it was kind of a psychological warfare. The second fight was just down to doggedness. As Chris like referred to Steve one time, he was like a donkey. He just kept coming at him, and he did, and you know, it proves that when the mind games are gone, you got to get in there and you got to fight. Chris Jr. is, you know, we see the similarity to Chris Jr. because he's trained with the same trainer, Ron Davis, who's a great trainer, brilliant trainer. I think bringing Adam Booth in will add to his arsenal, but I think it's a little too soon. I think it takes a good year for a fighter to learn from a new coach. You know, Goody Petronelli, who, you know, trained Marvin Hector, trained me, told me that it takes a good 8 to 10 years for a good 10-round, 12-round fighter. Spike was going to his 9th year as a pro, and I'm sure Chris's dad will understand that it's not about being a good fighter, it's about being battle hardened, it's about going through the hardships, you know, over all them years of fights, falling through, you know, sitting in little dingy dressing rooms, you know, being in the tough wars in the gym, family to provide for, which Spike does have. These are the things that make a hungry fighter. You don't hear that much people talk about hungry fighters nowadays. Hungry fighter is somebody who fights to live, and you know, there's very few of them around because, you know, money is more plentiful. And Spike, in my eyes, is a hungry fighter. He's been doing it for the last 9 years, leaving his home in Cork every week, coming to Dublin, no money, you know, scrimping and scraping. And Spike knows that when you're in the trenches, and you will be in the trenches, he's ready for it, that he needs this more than Chris Jr. And I believe that will be the telling factor. But, you know, I wish both fighters the best. I think it's great. I think it's great that they're fighting each other, two big names. But I actually know and I believe that Spike O'Sullivan would be too much for Chris Jr. on the night. And, you know, we'll not be aware of tactics, by the way. But Spike O'Sullivan will be victorious on the night.
We didn't get a handshake at the end of the gloves are off, but are we going to get a final message? First from you, Spike, to your nemesis down there, and then I'll ask Chris for one as well.
As always, same thing. Chris, get me a t-shirt made. I'm gonna knock you out, Chris. I'm gonna hurt you.
Don't worry, Sam. I've got the salt and pepper. We're going to cook it.
Chris, final word for you.
We're going to roast you, man.
We'll bring the fish and chips, you'll be the salt and pepper, right?
My final
That's a
word
vinegar.
is punishment time. It's time to pay for the disrespect that you brought towards me over the last few years. It's punishment time.
Good night, Chris. Chris, who's nervous now? Look like you poop your pants. Chris. Chrissy. Hello, Chrissy.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am, as a fan, forget being a promoter, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the show that kicks off at 4 o'clock, 4:15 on Saturday night, live on Sky Sports box office from 5 o'clock. String of incredible fights, and these two, Kevin Mitchell against Ismael Barroso and Chris Eubank Jr. against Spike O'Sullivan. 3 words, bring it on. Boom! That's 4. We are breaking for photos, and then we'll set up for our second press conference of the day. Thank you so much for being
Michelle Joy Phelps, and if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking this little icon right here, or else